All this week, all over Fargo-Moorhead and in Norway, people are celebrating the bicentennial of Norwegian immigration to the United States. 200 years after nearly a third of Norway came to America and this part of the Midwest, one project here at home has caught the eye of a global audience.
The making of the Hardanger fiddle from scratch and asking people around the country and in Norway to play a role in the handmade piece of musical art, all in preparation for Thursday night's big Hardanger fiddle concert at Concordia College, celebrating the bicentennial. That story tonight from WDAY News reporter Kevin Wallivand.
Maya Lindis never dreamed of a moment like this. The 2012 Moorhead High grad now lives in Norway, but has returned home to witness this.
I love this mechanism.
A handmade Hardanger fiddle, more than a year in the making. It started off as this, a block of wood, but for the last several months, it has traveled all over the Midwest, where artists helped turn that block of wood into this. The Hardanger fiddle.
Everyone across the country is doing things to celebrate. And so when we tried to think of something local we could do, we really wanted that experience of the music and the players, but also the experience of having your hands on this beautiful folk instrument and saying you were a part of it.
That fiddle made it home to Scandinavia.
This is the passport for the 2025 fiddle, and it's been to Norway, and it's been to the Host Fest, and we hope it'll travel the world after this.
Where immigrants 200 years ago brought their steamer trunks and fiddles from Norway to Minnesota and North Dakota.
Yeah, there's a phrase I like is that if you ask a fish to describe its environment, the last thing it's going to say is water. I think that we take this Scandinavian heritage for granted a lot. It's strange for me to say that with all these Scandinavian artifacts and a building with a Viking ship and a Stav church, but it is something that makes us unique, along with being a Kurdish town and a Sudanese town and a Somali town too.
But Fargo-Moorhead is reinventing the art of making and playing Hardanger fiddles, and the rest of the world is taking note. The Fargo Spelmanslag has nearly 20 people making their own fiddles, under the watchful eye of longtime fiddle maker Bud Larson, who learned the art from a violin shop owner in Fargo back in the day.
This is the most involved art project I've ever done in my life, and it's also something that has given me be a part of a community that I've never really had before. Being a part of this group of Hardanger fiddlers and fiddle makers, feeling like, you know, there's a renaissance going on in America, and it's the epicenter is Fargo-Moorhead, and it's just really so fun to be part of something and to meet fantastic friends.
After traveling across an ocean and back again, hundreds have touched this fiddle as it transformed from a block of wood into this magnificent piece. Maple and spruce from trees right here at home. Deer antler, clamshells, all from our Red River and local woods, all used to create this fiddle about to debut on Thursday night at Concordia.
Sometimes it just makes me get kind of weepy, because to know that as a whole, you know, we all put it together and did our part to finish it.
200 years after those Norwegian immigrants took the big gamble, sailing to America and arriving here in the Midwest, a fiddle and a song to remind so many of us who first plowed the fields and built towns still standing today. Kevin Wallivand, WDAY News.
And that Hardanger fiddle event starts at 6:30 at Concordia's Centrum on Thursday night. It is free. The concert is timed to match the arrival from Norway of the boat Restoration in New York City on Thursday, 200 years after the first boatload of Norwegians came to America. Love the history, and the fiddle is spectacular.
The boat ride sounds familiar, but flipped from the Hjemkomst in Moorhead.
Sure.